Welcome back, guys, to the Beyond Condition podcast, the voice of bodybuilding. I am your host, Sarah Parker, and we're here today for a conversation I had. This conversation was actually in my local gym, and I was talking to a first time competitor that is looking to step on stage in 2026. And we delved into how you build your stage presence, how you feel confidence through your posing, and how you're able to exhibit your physique on stage. And, you know, the thing is, guys, we can absolutely attribute a lot of this to time in the game, understanding what it feels like to step on stage, what the judges are looking for, building that confidence in yourself to be able to exhibit the physique can take time. But this is where I chose the title Fake It Till You Make It. A lot of the time, actually, being able to step into almost, and this is where there is thought processes to an alter ego, almost being able to go, do you know what? I've done the work in my prep. This is where I've landed on the day for my show. I'm going to step on that stage and I'm going to give it absolutely everything. Now, when we look at the realms of competitive bodybuilding, there are absolutely attributing factors to how confident you're going to feel on stage, depending on your background. So, if you have a background in dance, anything that involves being on stage, this can really lend itself well to how you feel up there, how you feel performing. But if you don't, this is a whole new experience. So we have our training, we have our nutrition, but when it comes to stepping on stage, that absolutely can be something that you never would have experienced before. And this is absolutely part of my journey. I never had a background in any of those things that would help me feel confident stepping on stage. And I want to start with a bit of a sentiment to say, that when you do look at physiques on stage, when you do admire people competing, and you start to think, wow, how do they do that? Would I ever be able to do this to that level? That everyone starts somewhere. If you take the dancing background or being used to being on stage out of the equation, a lot of us have built that confidence over time. There is also a hell of a lot of people that fake it till they make it. Now, what do I mean by this? And let's dig into it. When you go into your first competitive season, part of your plan is to learn how to pose. So, this is something that, of course, is a fundamental to competitive bodybuilding. Being able to understand how to exhibit your physique on stage is incredibly important. A couple of weeks ago, we did an episode and that was released with Andrea, who is a posing coach. And we spoke about how to exhibit your physique and how that is so important because if you can't exhibit your physique to the judges, you could have the best physique on the day, but if you're not able to show it, how do the judges get to see your full package? But this can come with, of course, the sense of, I don't know how to pose, this is hard. How am I going to get to a point where this becomes natural to me? If you're anything like me, when I started posing, I used to think, whoa, how do you do this? It feels so alien to me. And this is where the saying practice makes perfect comes in, right? It absolutely does because with practice we can learn how to pose, how to exhibit ourselves on stage, how we can bring confidence to the stage, and essentially how we can light up the stage. But with this comes a commitment. It absolutely does. Now, if you're able to build in posing practice into potentially your off season before you even start the prep is a good idea. But if this is, during a prep, if you're able to build that posing practice and work with a posing coach into your daily drivers, your weekly drivers, that starts to build your confidence with this becoming a habit. Now, the reason it's labeled as building posing as a habit for you is so that when we do get to show day, we're able to do this more effortlessly than if we don't know the posing, we're overwhelmed. What do we do? If this is a habit, your body will move in a different way to if you haven't practiced your posing. And it is so important, guys. I understand. Trust me, I do. When it comes to posing practice, as we move through a prep, it can become very hard because you're doing all of these other things, your nutrition, your training, your supplements, all of the things that go into a prep. And then, of course, you're accruing fatigue over time. So when it comes to posing practice, sometimes it's like I can hardly step one foot in front of the other. How am I going to commit to doing all of this posing practice as well? But I'll bring it back to if you cannot exhibit your physique on stage to the best of your ability, how can the judges essentially see your physique in its best light? And that is super important. So being able to strategically put your posing practice in around your training, around meals, all of these things, perhaps speaking to your coach on how to do that is super important. Now, when it comes to the day in itself, if we have done our posing practice, if we have built the posing practice as much of a habit as it can be, yes, we can always improve, guys. That's the beauty of our sport. But if you've done that work, if you get to the day and suddenly you're faced with overwhelm, anxieties, the thoughts and feelings around, oh my God, I've got to step on stage, it can be very overwhelming. Being able to essentially lean on this being a habit because you've put the work in will absolutely come in clutch. Now, what I'd also like to talk about is when we think about fake it till you make it, when you step on that stage, that's your time. Now, when I say that, that could be a flippant comment, right? You've done all this work, step on stage, own it, light it up, all of the things that, I talk about, other people talk about. And it's not always that easy, suddenly it's just you there under the lights on the stage. But something I want you to think about, guys, is when you come out onto that stage, think about maybe those people that have inspired you. Think about what stage presence looks like. Think about if you've been and watched shows, what that looks like. All of those little things, the smile, being able to look like you belong. That ties into, of course, fake it till you make it. Because you may feel like I shouldn't be here, I don't look good enough, all of these things that can go in our head. Be able to step into the work that you've put in. Remember, guys, it's a short space of time that you're on stage. It really, really is. And nerves can absolutely get the better of us. But there are elements of when you step onto that stage, trying to cut out the noise, go in, focus on the judges, focus on your posing, and look like you want to be there. That in itself is something I want you to really listen to here, guys. Look like you want to be there. Because from a judge's perspective, when I see competitors come out, even that looking up, looking at the judges, scanning the room, moving with presence, with flow, it all counts. Because let me tell you, if you walk onto the stage with your head down like you don't want to be there, it does show. Now, that doesn't mean you're not going to do well at your competition. However, being able to remember this time from as soon as you step on the stage is hugely important. The first impressions, the first 3 to 8 seconds, they stick. So when you're in that backstage part, trying to think about allowing that noise to go away. Zone in on the hard work, what it's taken you to get there, what you're about to do, your performance. That actually you're going to do your best because you've done everything in your power to get there. You've done the pros in practice. You've been able to do your prep in itself. And this is your time to, as soon as you come through that curtain or door or however that looks, we fake it till we make it. Because let me tell you, there's Olympians at the top levels that still do this. They step into an alter ego. They step into, this is my opportunity to exhibit my physique, and I'm going to do as much as I can to do that. This is not me normally. Maybe you're a bit of a tomboy. Maybe the posing doesn't come naturally to you. But you're going to get on that stage and show the judges what you've worked incredibly hard for. Sometimes it's a blur, right? And what I'm going to tell you is, guys, that it does come with experience, but this also comes with allowing yourself to be there. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can see that I'm, you know, really feeling what that feels like. You step on that stage, everything you've done to get there, and imagining it's just you there. It's just you there. You've got the audience, the judges. Sometimes you can't even hear or see the audience. The judges will be in front of you, making eye contact with the judges, being able to keep your chin up, being able to be proud of what you're doing, being able to exhibit your physique, being able to work on not moving through too fast, but also not taking too much time, being able to fine tune things as you move through this journey, and being able to show everything that you've worked hard for. Now, when it comes to posing practice in itself, and this is super important, if you do get the opportunity, something that I recommend is seeing posing coaches in person, posing in your gym, posing with potentially friends, basically trying to not just do your posing on your own in your house with no one else there. Because what can happen is we can get used to posing on our own, then suddenly on show day, it's very overwhelming. You're on stage with other competitors, you've got an audience, judges, etc. If you can start to pose in different environments with different people in front of you, it allows you to understand what that feels like to have eyes on you. Now, this also comes into not doing all of your practice in front of the mirror. On show day, we do not have a mirror there. So when we're able to practice away from the mirror, whether that be in a studio and looking away from the mirrors, whether that be at home somewhere, wherever that is, and also a little tip is to then video that. So when you watch yourself back, so whether that's at the gym, whether that's in the mirror, whether that's without the mirror, I encourage you to do this in different environments and different setups. But if you video yourself, doesn't have to be every time, but if you can take opportunities to do that, what I urge you to do, guys, and this is huge. This is something I've done throughout my whole 13 years of competing. Watch the video back and think, would I, if I was a judge, would I want to watch this person? Do they look like they want to be there? Do they look like they're lighting up their stage presence, their posing? What would I change here? What would maybe draw more eyes to me? What would make me look more comfortable in this environment? Now, you don't have to make this into a negative. You can pick yourself apart objectively and use this as positive fuel to go, okay, I could maybe smile a little bit more there. Okay, I could be a bit more intentful with this pose. Oh, I could just pop my glute a little bit more here. Like these little things. Now, this is something I offer as a coach within my coaching program. I'm not a posing coach, but I do work with my clients to think about stage presence, posing, etc. But this is something you could maybe work on with your coach as well, because we can absolutely look at fine tuning things to be able to give you the confidence when you are competing. If you do this yourself, what I find is that actually this helps with a visualization technique. So what you can do, and it's absolutely something I've done for multiple years, is visualize and think about the show day before it is here. So if you do your posing practice, if you're able to video it, if you're able to watch it back, if you're able to see a posing coach in person, maybe you do it on Zoom as well and you watch that back, take on their tips, etc. At night, before bed, I would then replay the video in my mind and see myself going through the poses. So this then helps us when we're on the stage, when we've got no mirrors, no videos, it's just us up there on that stage. We already can see what that looks like because we've practiced, we've watched it back, we've fine tuned, and then we're on stage and we already know what we're going to look like. That can give you a foundation of confidence. I promise you that. On top of this, some of the little things that I think about and I've used over the years with being able to understand stage presence is being able to practice off the back of posing lessons with the pointers that I've been given. So, as an example, if you have an in-person session with a posing coach, ideally get some video footage of that with them talking through the tips that they're giving you. Now, what I do in my posing practice is then put my headphones in, play the video of my posing lesson and tweak it as the posing coach is talking through it. Now, ideally, over the prep, you then get to a point where you're listening back and you're already doing the things that they've asked you to tweak autonomously. That's a little thing that can help build your confidence to then bring your stage presence on the day, because these are all positive affirmations towards you being able to do what you need to do on the day. Another little thing that I do at home, this is one of my favorite things, is when I haven't got people that I can pose in front of, I line up teddies, pretend they are the judges, and I essentially look at each teddy, smile, spend a couple of seconds there, engage like they're a judge, move on to the next one. I then look up, I look across, and a really nice balance here, guys, is to make eye contact with the judges, move through the judging panel, look up, look across the audience, present your physique, keep making eye contact with the judges, be able to practice that. So if you have a studio, if you have a large space at home, practicing what that's like. So like I said, when you step on the stage, so imagining that. So whether that's you're in the corner of the studio or you're just about to step into a living room, pretending, okay, I'm here. I'm about to step on stage. I'm ready. I'm thinking about all of these things. Right. Enter. We enter the room. We do the walk. We do the mandatories. We do the routine, whatever that looks like for you. We go through the whole thing. Something that I also urge you to practice is comparisons. So pretend you're in a lineup. Pretend that the judge says, okay, number X, move to the side. So move across. Practice your walk. Get back into your pose. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Because when you get moved around in a lineup, if you've never experienced that before, it can throw you off because it's like, what? Whereas if you know, okay, we pop, move, walk and move to the new position, back into the pose. Learn to hold the poses. Do this to music. Get excited. Make this a priority time when you're doing your posing practice that you look forward to. And that is something you can look forward to because you can really start to get into this, guys. So you can do your posing practice, review it. Okay, what are the little things? What are the little tweaks that I want to work on next time I pose? Right, write that in my notes. I'm going to do that. Read through my notes. Right, put the music on. Okay, I want to just get that walk a little bit better. Do the thing. And you keep running through these things. And this, again, it comes with time, but it comes with practicing making perfect, making this a habit, making it enjoyable, something that you look forward to doing. When you do look in the mirror and you do posing practice in front of the mirror, get excited for the physique that you're seeing. That's part of it, guys. The work that you're putting in is to bring your physique to stage, right? Looking, oh, wow, I haven't seen that striation before. Haven't seen that pop like that before. And this is an exciting part to the process. When you're in that studio or in that living room, fake it till you make it. Pretend the judges are there. Pretend you're on that stage. Every posing practice, if you can, I'm here. I'm doing this. This is me. And that's important because Even if you lack self-confidence, if your self-belief is really hard to muster up, you're finding that you're getting imposter syndrome, anxieties, any of those things, pretending that you are that person you've seen on stage that you want to be, pretending that you're going to go on the stage and the judges are already there in your studio or your living room, stepping into that alter ego. It does count, it does build over time, and it helps you feel like you belong, guys. So practicing, being true to that, having critiques that you trust, being objective, and remembering, guys, always, always learn.